Kansas City Chiefs continue to add talent to this roster, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. Look, guys, this is not the biggest deal in the world, but this is a big deal, and I'm going to go into why, and I think it plays directly into the Kansas City Chiefs' main strength right now and one of their main weaknesses from the past. Real quick, guys, if you are here by chance but not design, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping daily news, analysis, and opinion. So consider hitting the subscribe button if that is something in which you might be interested. So here's where we need to start when talking about Samaje Perine. Who? Well, he's 5'10 and 5'8", 235 pounds. He's got big hands, 10-inch hands. And you know what they say about guys with big hands? They can catch the football. A 4.65 40-yard dash with a 1.62 10-yard split, a 4.37 20-yard short shuttle, a 7.26 three-cone drill, a 33-inch vertical, a 9-foot 8-inch broad jump, and 30 reps on the bench press. Now, he was drafted in 2017 out of Oklahoma. He plays the running back position. Probably none of these numbers are currently accurate. What has he done in his NFL career? Well, to this point, he has 454 carries for 1,830 yards with a 4-yard average. We're going to get back to that later. But here's the thing. Samaje Perine has 152 receptions and 1,191 yards receiving, which is a 7.9 yard average. And guys, this isn't collected slowly over the course of his multi-year career. This isn't the fact that he came into the league in 2017 and has one more year of experience technically than Patrick Mahomes because he had one of his stronger rushing years actually as a rookie. No, about 900 of those yards have come in the last 3 seasons. No one ever thought to throw this guy the football before, but I promise you, Andy Reid will. See, the Kansas City Chiefs, moving on to this number 2 moment here, this number 2 point here, the Kansas City Chiefs, in the absence of Jerick McKinnon, have a sudden need for a receiving threat at the running back position. This is not Jerick the Jet McKinnon, but we're going to stick with a nickname that's, aerial assault because Jet McKinnon was known for being fast and stealthy and getting around in the passing game, not quite so much behind the line of scrimmage. This is Warthog Perine. This guy is an A-10 Warthog. If you don't understand that reference, I'm not a military guy, just familiar with general internet ambiance. If you don't know what the A-10 Warthog is, do yourself a favor, Google it, watch some highlights, and then say the Pledge of Allegiance and 4 Hail Marys for being thankful that you are an American. Unless we've got a growing community of non-Americans here, but I think you're all from friendly countries. So the A-10 Warthog is a machine of terror. So since 2020, here's the thing with Samaje Perine and all of those receiving yards, because someone just around 2020 decided to throw him the ball. Since 2020, Samaje Perine has broken 14 tackles on 266 carries. That's about 1 every 19 carries. He's a big, strong guy, and he does not shy away from contact. However, in that same time, he has broken 16 tackles on 126 receptions. That is 1 broken tackle every 8 receptions. That is incredible. And guys, as long as the Kansas City Chiefs get that starting quarterback situation figured out, I think they'll have a pretty good signal caller back there to deliver the ball to someone like Samaje Perine, something we have not seen, dare I say it, since Kareem Hunt. He plays running back, yes, but Samaje Perine is a receiving threat. that is what he will be doing in this offense. Don't get me wrong, we're going to get to a point later that I think is going to definitely even out his touches in Kansas City. But here's the thing. What is this really all about? Samaje Perine may not have racked up tons of carries in the NFL, but he's 28 years old and he's played 7 seasons. And to the best of my knowledge, he has been the consummate professional the entire time. He is a veteran. He is a crafty veteran, and he's a veteran that doesn't have Adrian Peterson level wear on his tires, right? In addition to being in addition to being a passing game threat, in addition to being a strong guy who can move the pile, and he's actually very good in traffic as well. This is a locker room guy for Isaiah Pacheco and Carson Steele. This is insurance for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and this is a lifting buddy for Carson Steele as well. Samaje Perine in college bench pressed 440 pounds, had a 540-pound squat, a 380-pound power clean, which here's how I'm going to tell you this is a football player. I guarantee you that was not the prettiest of form, because a guy Samaje Perine's size could easily be in the 400s if he was super technical about the lift. I guarantee you he was not super technical about the lift. He was trying to throw around weight. And an incline bench press of 315 pounds while he was still in college. This is a guy the Chiefs can keep around to show Isaiah Pacheco and Carson Steele how to show up, how to watch film, how to take care of their bodies, how to last in the NFL as a power running back, how to survive contact. If you watch Samaje Perine, one of the interesting things about him that he does, he will deliver the blow as an offensive player, but he does so in a very intelligent way. He does so in a way that oftentimes you see these bigger, scarier, stronger defenders get in tons of high-speed collisions, and it's the other guy that gets hurt. Well, both of their bodies absorbed all of that shock, but it's the way you do it. This is one of the things that I sort of had a critique on LRZ about is he hunched when he ran. I'm assuming that this is probably a difference between football and rugby. This is more of a protective run in rugby, whereas in football, when the entire body is basically a weapon, putting your spine in that position, very dangerous. So it ended up, I think it costs you when you're running, it costs you speed because you were not accepting the fact that you are a weapon as well. I don't know why I'm on this side tangent, but I think it is interesting because Samaje Perine is delivering blows on the football field the way a defender would by bracing for making a tackle, and instead he's just clobbering someone in an attempt to keep running. Maybe. So I talked a little bit about adding something the Chiefs have and adding something that the Chiefs have not had in the past. Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs have tons of receiving threats. In the past, when they have played this type of football, that number 4 point there, 4, 8, 12 chains. In the past, when the Chiefs have played this brand of football, flinging the ball all over the field, high stakes, high reward, high action, all of these things, it has cost them late in games because they would build this lead. You remember this. You remember this from the 2020 time period. You remember this from the 2021, 2022 time period. Or maybe not 2022. But they would build a lead, and slowly, over the course of a game, that lead would bleed away. 2018 was the real bad year for this, if memory serves me correctly. They would build a lead by halftime, and then be trying to win the game, run out the clock, and things just wouldn't work out. And things just wouldn't work out. And all of a sudden, that other team was back in it. Well, it's because the Kansas City Chiefs couldn't bleed the clock late in the game. We saw earlier Samaje Perine. Look, Samaje Perine is not an all-pro. I'm not trying to make that case here. That 4-yard average, you give it to him on first down, it's second down and 6. You give it to him on second down, it's third down and 2. You give it to him on third down, it's first down. You keep the ball. You're going to bleed at least another minute 30 off the clock. That, in my opinion, is one of the big deals about this signing for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, for whatever reason, Clyde has never been this guy. For whatever reason, Isaiah Pacheco has never really been this guy either. He's got a good average. He can get through the line. He seems to get into trouble if the box is stacked, and you wouldn't imagine that for a guy that's 216 pounds and runs a 4.37 40. But something just isn't adding up in his game. Maybe he can learn what that is from Samaje Perine, but in the meantime, they have Samaje Perine, and he's the kind of guy that, look, maybe you want to stack the box, but he's probably going to get 4 yards anyway. 4.65 40-yard dash that has probably diminished since then. Maybe he's not going to get a whole lot more. But those 4 yards, they're his. So I think that is a very big part of what we're seeing here, is that draining the clock in the fourth quarter is something that has haunted Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and this offense in the past. It has haunted them when they were a high-flying offense, and now they are not going to let that be the case. The fifth and final point that I want to make here, I'm focusing on one player, but it's a bigger deal than that. Farewell, Nick Jones. We hardly knew ye. We hardly knew ye. We're not supposed to talk about Kanye, are we? Last year, the Kansas City Chiefs entered the season with 25 offensive players, 25 defensive players, and the 3 specialists. Very, very even keel approach. This season, they are entering the year with 27 offensive players, 23 defensive players. That's not a lot of depth on the defensive side of the ball. So, Patrick, you better take care of that defense by blowing up the scoreboard. The fact that one thing that I've noted on the channel a little bit recently. Yesterday, there was a video that dropped on the 53-man roster going over the offense and the players who made the roster there. I talked about the top X, Y, and Z number of players that got snaps. So how many snaps does your fourth running back really get? Do you need a fourth running back, etc.? That is one of the things that has to be taken into account when you're electing to only keep 23 defensive players. Do you have the defensive players necessary? Do you have the players that are not going to come off the field? We've seen Chris Jones rack up snap counts. He didn't play in the preseason. He got his wish. Andy Reid and company told us, he's got a stinger in his hip or his big toe. We don't remember. Whatever it was, Chris Jones just wasn't going to play in the preseason. But he racks up tons of snaps during the year. Justin Reid, another case of a guy who has gone over 1,000 snaps during his stay with the Kansas City Chiefs. Nick Bolton, if he's healthy, he's on the field, and he will get 1,000+ snaps. You're going to have those performances if what you're keeping is 23 defensive players. Guys, that's what I have for this, the signing of Samaje Perine and what that means for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, so consider hitting the subscribe button. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.